Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of my self-care series. This is where we talk about our self-care and really kind of build each other up and keep each other accountable for our self-care because, after all, we are worthy. So, with that, this is week 3. How did you guys do? Did you fill out your self-care planner? Did you meet your goals for the week? I did not. I had a very emotional week this week, and I haven't felt these kind of emotions in probably over a decade, and it's been pretty tough to navigate. I definitely took some time to process, and the things that I've learned this week are pretty important. So, though this has been a very difficult week, I feel like it was coming, and I think I'm keeping my fingers crossed that there will be a positive outcome. So let's do our weekly check-in. What was the best thing that happened to you this week? For me, there wasn't too much that happened that was great. But I did learn a lot. I know it says what happened that I'm grateful for. Well, I'm grateful that I'm learning and kind of understanding certain things that I wasn't entirely aware of. So it's been a learning week for me. What about you guys? Did you learn anything this week? Did you make time for yourself? That is really important. I had a lot of time for myself this week, so it was a very good week of reflection. I'll just put it that way. What was your overall mood this week? For me, it's been really sad. Sad and painful. But again, I'm learning some things, which is, I think there will be a positive outcome. I'm hoping. How did you show kindness this week? I think I'm gonna hold that to myself. No, actually, I'm not. I showed myself some kindness because I learned to forgive myself, and I learned to advocate for myself at the same time. So I guess I showed myself some kindness this week. What did I do to take care of myself? I think I've already answered that. And was there anything that made me feel down? I think I've answered that too. And what do I want to change next week? Well, I definitely feel like, for me, when I get into these down moods, I allow it to derail me in all aspects of my life. And that is something that I'm going to work on because that doesn't benefit me. What about you guys? What do you think you're going to change for next week? And how do you feel overall your week was? So did any of you use the daily journal this week? I didn't. I probably should have. I could have written down a lot of emotions, but I didn't. A sleep journal, how about that? Did you guys work with your sleep journal? I didn't either, but I definitely paid attention to my sleep. And quite honestly, last night, I got 7 hours of sleep, which is my goal for the year. So that was really great. My morning routine and evening routine went out the window. I did stuff that I just, automatically do. It's the things that I put on there that were new that I kind of glossed over. I did, however, my daughter and I went to Trader Joe's at the beginning of, on Sunday of last week. And we actually, before we did that, we went through our whole pantry and our whole kitchen and, found everything that we have and created a menu so that we really only focused on things that we needed for the menu, and then just a couple of snacks here and there. And I wrote down a weekly menu, and it was amazing. It's always really super helpful for me to plan ahead, to when I go to the grocery store, to go only for what I need. If I have to have a list, otherwise I'm probably buying everything. But I saved money, I saved time, I saved emotional stress on going there and trying to figure out what I need and what I don't need. And it was just, that was something that was really helpful for this week. How about your hydration? My hydration sucked. I'm not gonna lie. I did drink water. I'm really good at drinking about, here's my water bottle. I usually drink about 1.5 of these. So, and that's standard. I mean, that's like without even thinking. So, but I'm up to about 2.5. And then I get my LaCroix. So, and I probably have 1 or 2 of those a day. So, but I did not track it. So I'm not entirely sure if I stayed on track or not, if I'm being honest. How about your workouts? How did you guys do this week on workouts? I failed miserably. When I allow myself to get into my head, that's one of the first things that I let go. And one of the things that I did it just keeps coming up for me is that I just, even after this year of success, not in the way that I planned, but it was successful nonetheless. I still don't feel like I'm ever going to see where I want to be. And that negative self-talk is something that I'm working on really hard for this year. That doesn't mean it doesn't come up. It does all the time. And this week it was there, like very loud and very clear. So I am working on this week to not make that happen, not let that happen. So this week we are talking about social self-care. And what is social self-care? Well, social self-care is all about your relationships and seeing people and getting out there. I am definitely an introvert, and I can be in my house for a week at a time and it doesn't bother me any. In fact, sometimes I enjoy it. I'll go sit out on my deck and read or just watch other people walking in the neighborhood, and I'm content. But that's not helping me with my social behavior. I'm not being social, and then when I have to, it's sometimes really difficult for me. So social self-care is really important, and it's something that I'm going to work really hard on this year. One of the things when you work on social self-care, it creates a sense of security and well-being, which is definitely important for your physical health and your mental health. So let's all try to do it. If you're like me, we need to make a plan. At least try to get out and connect with friends or family. And I'm going to give you an example. This year, last year, one of the best things that happened was just having my kids and my parents over on Christmas, and we just had a day full of gameplay, and it was just really fun when they left. Instead of usually just being stressed from the day, just the fact that we sat down and played games and just really enjoyed each other's company made a huge difference in how I felt after they left. And so I think it's definitely really important to work on getting those relationships and nurturing them, going out for dinner, going to a movie, that type of thing. So in the self-care planner, I've included an area where you can keep track of your activities with your friends or family. You can simply just write down what you did. If you went out to dinner or something with your friends or your family, you can write that down and then write down how it made you feel. This is probably the most important thing, just to help you when we move on to the next area. So now we're on the area of evaluate your relationships. This, I think, is really important, that we evaluate our relationships on occasion, just to see if this person is, a positive influence for you, or maybe that person's bringing you down. Not to say that, then this is really important. This is not to say that if you are getting some negativity from somebody, that they need to be out of your life. It's not that at all. It's more of, it's helping you to understand where you are with a certain person and what you might need to do to help fix that, or what you maybe need to bring to that person and say, hey, this isn't serving me. How can we improve on this? Or something to that effect. So I did include some questions that you can ask just for your evaluation. So feel free to take a look at that. And then the last thing was social self-care is something that I think is vital, absolutely vital. There are certain things we can control, and there's certain things we can't control. And most everything we can control is about us and how we feel and how we talk to ourselves and how we perceive things. But what we can't control is something on the outside. Other people, their opinions, their actions, their behavior, what they say, their perception. We can't control that. Any other external circumstances we can't control, but we can control how we react and how we process the situation and how we handle the situation. So this is something I put in here because I think it's really important as a reminder when we want to evaluate our own situation, our own behavior. So that is why this is in there. So how do you feel now about social self-care? What are some of the things you're going to do this week to work on that? Myself, I'm going to have my family dinner on Monday. That is kind of becoming our staple. I mean, we've been doing this for a while, and where my kids come over, and I'm always looking forward to that. So that'll be one thing that I do. And I may try to get out again after that, although it's so cold right now that it's really difficult for me to get out sometimes when it's this cold. Next week, we're going to talk about intellectual self-care. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you continue to comment and let me know how you've done, what your progress was for the week. And if you don't follow me, please follow me. You can get the self-care planner. It's linked in the description on my Etsy shop. Or you can use your own. Either way, thank you for coming, and I will see you next week.